Good evening, everyone. Learning live time. There we go. I've got my screen on. I'm just going to adjust my camera just a little bit as you all join in. Santa brought me a brand new camera, so I'm trying things out. And let's hope it all works well tonight. So thank you for joining me tonight. Our last fast and easy project night. I got some fun stuff to show you. And I think we're going to have a good time. So please do say hello in the comments. Make sure I can see the comments as they... Oh, there we go. Good evening, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well on this wonderful Tuesday evening. We have just finished up our Tuesday night pickups here at our home in Whitby, and just in time for me to come and craft with you guys. So hopefully you've been enjoying the learning lives this last 2 weeks, our fast and easy projects. As the holidays approach, we didn't know how we were going to get everybody to have a turn, so that's why we doubled up and still want to bring you some great ideas. And I'm ending things off, so this will be the last learning live of 2021, but that's okay because they all live on YouTube. You can go back and watch all of these again. I do still have to get Darlene's up from last night, as well as obviously mine from tonight. But lots of crafting ideas. If you are fortunate enough to have some extra crafting time, or like I said, these are fast and easy ideas that we want to share with you. Now tonight I'm going to be playing with the Hunkydory Luxury Toppers is what they are called. And you've probably seen me use these for cards in the past. When you get one of these kits, and they're quite affordable, I'm afraid I can't remember the price per se right off the top, but you get this sheet of punch outs as well as two larger, I'm going to call them background pieces that you can use for your card bases. And these are all just punch out. So you really don't need a lot of extra tools. They just punch out really easily, and there's all kinds of layers. And in the past, I have done cards like this or like this, and you can use them for cards of any size. So this I think is a 5x7. This is your slim line. Here's another slim line. With these papers, it really is easy to do some really cute slim lines because, you know, they just fit really nicely. You can just trim right up the sleeve there and add it to a slimline card base. I've done this one here. So these are all holiday ones from last year that I did. And if you look at the instruction, or look at the, I guess, advertising piece. Oh, hey, Deanna. My friend Deanna from Clipper Street. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, tonight. If you look at these, not instructions, the carrier sheet, it says it makes at least 2 cards. Well, I find with these kits, if you are frugal with your paper, you bring in your old card bases, even bring in some pattern paper, then you can make them last a whole lot longer. I think I have made up to 6 or 7 just out of one kit and adding in a few extra little bits and bobs. I've also done some interactive or fun fold cards and so on and so forth. So I think it's pretty safe to say that you guys can definitely make cards out of these things. What I'm going to show you tonight in the next 30 minutes is how you can use these for your gift wrapping. I'm going to show you a box, I'm going to show you a bag, and I'm going to show you a gift card holder. So don't just think of them as card kits, think of them as accessories. So the first thing I'm going to make tonight using these guys, I'm actually I'm not going to use these card base or these background pages. Again, you can slice and dice these in so many different ways and get lots of card bases out of them. But I'm going to focus mostly on this guy here in the bottom corner, this square. So I'm just going to punch him out, and I'm going to be gentle because he does have a bunch of layers to him. But I want to keep them all together, at least for right now. So if you look closely, I can punch the gnome out, I can punch this gold frame out, and then I do have this plaid frame as well. And I'm going to keep these closed because who knows what other bits I may use. And I am simply going to do a basic crisscross card, which some of you may have seen me do before. It's one of my, probably one of the first fun fold formats I ever learned, and definitely one that I go back to time and time again. Let me make sure I'm up on screen there. So I am starting with a piece of cardstock that is 5 by 10. And I'm going to score it in half, and I'm going to do one simple cut that's going to turn this into a pocket. Now this format is really, really easily adaptable, so you can do anything that is a square. You can also do rectangles, which I have done before as well. Once you kind of got the basic mechanism down, it is so easy to adapt. I made a bunch of these for gift card holders this year, and this one's going to be a little bit bigger, but you could absolutely tuck in, obviously a gift card, but you could tuck in a hot cocoa pack. You could tuck in maybe tickets to something if you're giving that as a gift. It just makes that gift a little bit more fun to open. So good evening, everyone, as you're tuning in. This is 5 by 10, and I'm simply going to score it halfway at 5 inches, like so. Whoops. Don't let it slide. So I'm scoring halfway at 5 inches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off one corner. So I'm simply going to line up that score line with the top of my blade, or the track of my blade, and the bottom corner here. Those are both in the track of the blade so that I can just snip it up. Now I sometimes find when I do this technique with the trimmer that this bottom corner gets a little bit scrunched. So I'm just going to lift up my blade and punch it down a little bit higher than the corner. So you can see it's just a little bit higher than the corner here. And then that way, and make sure I haven't moved my paper, that way I can go down and then up again without munching up that corner. So that is as easy as the cutting is for this. While I'm here, I'm just going to put, and while everything's open, I am just going to put a little bit of green pattern paper tucked inside here. And you know what, I may even cut another square of this to put on the triangles, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm decorating. You know what? Maybe I'm going to put the foil side up. Even though we've got silver and gold mixing, I can't say that it bothers me. So, I'm going to just slide this inside, and it's just easier to do it while it's flat and while it's open. And I've got those beautiful silver foil snowflakes shining. And then I'm going to grab just some really skinny score tape, and I'm going to close up my pocket. So I'm going to start with the loose piece first, and I'm going to put tape just right along the edge of the two shorter sides, not the diagonal side. Get it as close as you can, and I'm using really thin score tape so I can keep my pocket the opening as big as I can get it. There we go. Just give it a little rub down. Now this piece here is going to go right here in the corner and start forming our pocket. Get rid of the backing. And let's just line up my edges. And my pocket is starting to form. So this way it just slides in really nicely. On this one, because we have the fold, I only need to put tape on that bottom edge, and that encloses the pocket easy peasy. I see lots of you watching. Please say hello. Love to see all your names fly across my screen there. So I'm just folding this over here so it encloses my pocket. And grab my bone folder. Just give it a little burnish to make it lie nice and flat. Now I could very easily just use this as my insert and tuck it in. But remember, I was telling you that it's got all these different layers and I don't want them to come apart. So I have just cut another piece of cardstock. I'm gonna double check it first. Always good to double check it. Make sure it's gonna fit, because there's nothing worse than getting something all decorated up and then it doesn't fit where you want it to go. And you know what? I'm kind of sad that some of this green has gotten covered up. So I think I will probably cut, at least for this one, because now this one's stuck down, so I can't do it for that one. No worries, no worries. So this, because it's all perforated, I'm just gonna tape it all the way up. And I'm going to attach it to my extra piece of cardstock here. And now I have a little insert to go in here. And look, he's just peeking out, cute as can be. Now, like I said, we've got other pieces here in this topper set. Maybe what I'm gonna do, instead of putting green on here, I'm gonna take this border piece. And sometimes with the border pieces, I find it a little bit odd that the end bit isn't cut, but you can just take your scissors and cut it like that. And snip it like that. And I'm just going to attach it right across the bottom here. So I'm gonna go for some wider score tape. And this is 5 inches, so where's my 5 inches here? My 5 inches go to about here. So I don't want to waste extra tape. Peel and stick. And we're just decorating it up. So like I said, this makes a great little gift card holder. I'm gonna save that for later. Now, because this guy fits so nicely in the pocket, it's actually a little bit hard to grab him. So I'm gonna use a couple of these 2 little tabs here to make a tab for the top of our card, so he's easy to pull out. Yeah, let's. And because this guy is so nicely centered, hang on, we'll punch this out here. I'm gonna get this guy here so that he can go on the back of the card. I'm going to position this off to the side. Just like that. No matter what, I hope your Christmas is magic. And you know what? Maybe I'll save him. I'm not going to put him on the back because he's too cute. I don't want to use them all on one thing. So just a little bit of liquid glue. Mixing all my adhesives tonight. And that can just kind of stick on there like a tab. This is now going to go back in my pocket. So now that's easy to pull out. And let's put this little button on here as well. Now you'll notice that I didn't do any 3D squares or anything like that behind this guy. We want to make sure he tucks nicely in the pocket. But for the front of our pocket, we absolutely can pop them up. So I've just got some little foam squares. From our gnome to yours. So that's project number 1. Fast and easy project number 1 here. And again, let's see if my glue's holding. That pulls out. You can write your message on the back. It's got that beautiful green snowflake peeking out, and he just looks super festive. I'm gonna do one last thing and then I'm gonna leave him to dry. I'm gonna put some sparkle on his nose. This is the lacquer sparkle pen from Hero Arts. And I think he just needs a sparkly little nose here. Cute, cute, cute. All right, so that is one way that you can use the luxury toppers to do something other than just a straight card. The second way, and I got to put him somewhere where he can dry nicely. The second way I'm going to use luxury toppers, and sorry, before I go on, in case you really like those gnomies, this was called, oh, hang on. This set was simply called My Gnomie, and you've got the gnomes and the 2 background papers. The second set that I'm going to use is called, let me grab all the bits. This one is called Christmas Time, and I just absolutely loved this beautiful little almost Nordic looking house. To be totally honest, it reminded me a lot of Disney World and It's a Small World, where it has the big clock in the middle, and I am definitely missing my Disney time. So I really pulled this one out, and I just love the rich colors to this. The 2 backgrounds, we've got elves and a reindeer, and we've got this beautiful one with the house again. And I may come back and use this, but to start with, I'm going to use this great big piece here, this feature piece, and I'm going to use it to decorate a gift bag. So you can go to the dollar store, or maybe you already have it in your stash. You can get those plain paper gift bags. And you know what? They're okay, but you really want to jazz it up. Or maybe you want to take one of these bags from a store. You know, Purdy's, one of my favorite stores, is they gave you these great little paper bags, and sometimes, especially at this time of year, they're quite festively decorated. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to take it up a notch. So I can simply lay this nice and flat and glue this down, or I can take it even higher. So what I'm going to do, and that's actually a literal comment, I am going to punch these layers out. And I like to do this a lot on cards too. You may have seen it on some of those cards that I showed you off the top, where I keep the layers together, but I differentiate them by puffing them up in different ways. So this one, I'm going to lay the frame flat. I'm going to, I guess I should be more specific. The outer frame flat. Say that 5 times fast. I'm going to lie the feature piece flat, but I'm going to pop up this middle frame just to give it some height and some different dimension. So let me start with this large one. And because this is a carrier bag, it's got a bit of a glossy finish to it. Also because I definitely don't want it to fall off as I am delivering the gift. Definitely using my score tape on this. So let me just line this out here with my score tape. And a couple more sides. And while I've got my tape ready, I'm going to just frame this one as well. That way it's all ready to go. And I'm not saying you necessarily have to over tape this. You certainly don't need to cover all the space, but you do want to use that good strong tape. And where did my pokey tool go? There it is, my peeling tool. So I am starting with the outer frame because that will help me get those boundaries to work with. And I'm just going to eyeball and frame around this logo. The logo, odds are, is centered. So if you try to center that, then your piece should be centered when you're done. And then I'm also going to lie down my centerpiece. And then I can move on to that raised part. And even if I have to fudge it a little bit, because it is raised, it's going to look awesome. So I like to kind of stand over my project, make sure it is centered, and right about there. There we go. Now that looks pretty impactful just on its own. That purple border really makes it sing, but I really want to use this red frame. So I am simply going to put foam squares in my four corners. Doesn't need to be anywhere else. I maybe will put one in the middle of each of the long sides if they fit nicely. Just looking at my stash, I don't have any of my big ones handy. So I'm just going like this. And then I can squeeze one in the middle here, hopefully. Yep, not too bad. And one in the middle here. Missed just a little bit, there we go. And then peel all those little backings off. Oh, got that one already. Okay. And these look like they're all pretty symmetrical, so it doesn't matter too much whether you got top to bottom or vice versa. And there we go. So it just gives it that little bit of dimension, makes you look like you're peering into a window there. And once again, you could bling this up with some Nuvo drops or some stickles or that lacquer pen. I'm actually going to flip this over, and this is where, if you didn't want to use this little guy here, you could absolutely trim and cut these guys on the back. Though, yeah, I think because I want something a little bit different, I'm going to use this piece here. And if I measure across, out to the edge of the elf here is about 5.5. So I'm going to do a 5.5 inch square. And use that on the back side to cover it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this way first. That way I can keep this beautiful long border for another project. You could absolutely use these toppers on a layout as well. They are nice and big that it could be a really beautiful feature on your layout, and maybe that's a whole other learning live where we do luxury toppers on layouts. But I've got this guy and I'm just going to inverted my corners. That way it kind of mirrors the shape that's on the other side, even kind of match them up a little bit. And score tape, where's my fat stuff? Here's my fat stuff. Sheila's saying she would love to see them used in a layout, so we will take that under advisement for the new year. I would love to say that I could get one done before the holidays, but I'm going to be totally honest, not going to happen. My Sammy comes home from the East Coast on Friday, so we are looking forward to seeing him. He has been away since March, and we have not seen him since, so we're just looking forward to having some family time. Our family Christmases are this weekend, and so Sheila, feel free to hold me to it and remind me that I need to do a layout for you and show you how that works. So this guy I'm just gonna tuck in here, make sure it doesn't go over that fold, and we'll stick that down. And I'm actually going to grab one of the sentiments from this amazing book of sentiments. Let's see what colors I've got here. You know what, I'm going to use the red. So here I've got, let the miracle of Christmas fill your heart with warmth and love. These you also just punch out, and Hunkydory has really nice, easy punch outs. And we'll pop it up. And I can just tuck this here. And if I wanted to, I could put one on this side as well. But I just love how that is turned out. There's one side. There's the other side. And it just makes a really special little handmade gift. And if you wanted, you could take, you know, some of these extra pieces and make a little tag to go with it, a coordinating tag. So you know what, let's take this. And my tag punch, the biggest it does is 2.5. So let's cut this strip to 2.5. I'm going to invert the bottom, but I'm going to use my tag punch for the top. So this just scooches in here. Oh, I need to go a teensy weensy bit thinner. Can I do that with this? No, I'm going to see if I can do this without grabbing my guillotine here. There we go. There we go. And then this is gonna nest in here. There's my tag. And let's grab we've got this little guy and another. We've got a Santa Claus is coming to town over here. We could just do it like so. I'm gonna keep the tag flat. come up there. So now you have a coordinating tag to go with your bag. And you can just tie that on with ribbon. So that's decorating tip number 2, is decorating and upcycling those gift bags that maybe look a little old and worn, or maybe you're just covering up logos from the shop. Really fantastic way. And again, if, like I said, if you want to add bling to it, I would use things like Nouveau Drops, Stickles, the lacquer pen, as opposed to things like enamel dots or things that you have to glue on. We don't know how well this surface is going to adhere to those things, and they may pop off. So it's always nice to use something that's going to stick. All right, I've got just enough time to do one more project, and I have done a little bit of the prep work. I am going to do a little gift box. This is a pizza style gift box. Let me just grab one more punch, because I'm going to want to do a notch. So my notches, let's do those first before I forget. I'm going to do a little notch here. And trust me, I have learned the hard way. It's much better to do the notches before you form the box. I also like to decorate it before I form it, because that way it can lay flat. Now, I can post these as well, but the measurements are simply 6 by 11. And then you score 1 inch all the way around and 1 inch in the middle, so that you've got 2 4-inch sections for your box. And I am going to be using the Midnight Owl toppers for this. Now you absolutely could, if you wanted a really fancy box, you could use the background pieces. But tonight I'm just going to use the punch outs, because those owls are stunning. So I love the silver. I love this forest owl. This is the one background. This alone would make a beautiful card. And this one here too. I could see myself cutting this into 4 and making 4 A2 size cards out of those. But I want to keep this pretty simple. But I love these owls and just want to use them on this project. So let me just double check. Yeah, that if I use this full one, that's a little bit too big. That one is also a little bit too big. But never fear, here is the trick I'm going to do. All right, putting this on the front, I'm going to do this one here. So let's get them punched out. I want to keep the owl with this inner silver piece. But what I'm going to do with this outer piece, since it is too big for my lid, is I'm going to cut it in half. I am going to cut it in half. This is pretty symmetrical, so there is no top, bottom, right, left. Let's just do that. And I'm probably going to end up trimming a little bit more, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down like this. And like I said, I am going to have to trim a little bit more off here, but let's get it glued down first. Don't go all the way to the edges, because we know we're going to cut it. Don't drop it in your lap. That would also not be good. And do I have room? No, I don't really want them to overlap. I could come down like that. But let's keep it simple. Let's not overthink this. So I'm just going to fold in the one flap. It's a little bit awkward, but trust me, less awkward than if the box were formed. And then do this side. Snip. And then this guy can just go like that. So it almost gives it wings. And no, it's not a Red Bull commercial, but it just gives it that little decorative element to it. Yeah, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. I'm going to grab tape this time because it's faster than all those foam squares. And again, I want to make sure that those layers stay together. And we'll just put that one in the middle. So there he is on the box. And yes, Tiff, I love that foam tape too. It is terrible. And by that, I mean you can tear it, which is awesome. You don't need scissors. You don't have to get your scissors all gummy. And then let's just put that guy there. Let's keep it simple. So there. Now all you have to do is form your box. And the bottom half, which is this side here, we're gonna do, oops. Make sure your glue is dry before you get too rambunctious. I'm gonna fold in my tabs and use some tape. Ideally, I would use score tape to make sure it's stuck together, but I wanna make this fast, so I've just put adhesive on those 4 little tabs. This is gonna fold up and form the box, fold up and form the box, fold up and form the box, and form the box. So there's your little pizza bottom. And then we're just gonna do the same on these ones to make the lid. And see, it's so much easier that I've got my little notches already punched. And there you go. So you could wrap a little ribbon around it to keep it closed. And then what you could do, what I would probably do is, this is a little 4x4 box. So I may make a bunch of little 3.5 by 3.5 inch cards using the other coordinating pieces, using these pieces here. And that way you've got a cute little gift set right there. So ladies, that is my fast and easy decorating tips using Hunkydory card toppers or luxury toppers. They are designed as card kits, but you can do so much more with it. Just love how that all coordinates together. And here's my little Nomi. Look at his sparkly little nose. Still a little bit wet, so I'm not going to touch him too much, but so there you have it. That is our last Learning Live of 2021. Huge, tremendous thank you for joining us every week, for supporting us, for jumping in with your comments and your encouragement and your support. You guys are awesome. And we are so excited. We're already starting to plan for next year. Darlene is getting us on task and we are brainstorming. So if you have some product demos that you'd like to see or different things you'd like to see us use in our learning lives, let us know. And beyond that, I wish you good night. I will say tomorrow night's What's New is going to be a special edition. We don't have a lot of brand new stuff to show you. Things are winding down just a little bit, but I am going to post a wish list right here on the Facebook page, and I want you to print it out and have it ready when you tune in tomorrow night at 7. Because I am going to showcase all kinds of ideas that you may want to ask Santa for. It's not too late to ask Santa for all kinds of goodies. I have stocking stuff for ideas, whether you're buying for another crafter or someone special in your life, or if you're writing that list for Santa. We've got lots of ideas. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 7 for our Holiday Wish Guide edition of What's New. Until then, be safe, stay warm, happy crafting, and we will talk to you all very soon. Good night.